Ladies and gentlemen, it is Tuesday, and that means we have to recap this wild weekend of sports that we just had here on this episode of Quick Hits. So sit back, relax, and enjoy lunch on me, Podcast Smitty. Let's go.
Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly.
Welcome to Quick Hits. I'm your host, Shannon Smith, aka Podcast Smitty. If you're new to the show, what's good? I'm Shannon. I am a fan of sport, and Quick Hits is here to cover some sports twice a week as we talk about some big news in sports. We have some analysis, we have some hot takes, we have some fun, a little bit of comic relief on this show. So if you're into that, stay right here and enjoy this show. And while you're at it, while you're here, go ahead and subscribe to Boom Broadcasting and check out some of the shows that we have here from other content creators. We have a baseball podcast, a basketball podcast. We have a sports news podcast that's live. We have wrestling. We have a TV and movie podcast. We have a podcast for your mental health as well, too. We got a little bit of everything inside and outside of sports here on Boom Broadcasting. So keep it locked right here for your great shows on demand or live. Go ahead and drop some comments. Give us some likes. I guarantee that you will enjoy what you see here on Boom Broadcasting. But while we're here talking about this show, if you're new to the show, welcome aboard. But if you're one of my quick hitting brothers and sisters, ouch, welcome back. Now, we got a little bit to talk about because college football happened this weekend. We got ourselves a field of 12. We've got some teams that feel like they've been snubbed. We got some NBA that went on. We had some hockey go on. We had some NFL go on this weekend, and it was some good stuff. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and get into it. So let's start the show. Let's go ahead and get these quick hits here for the weekend as we go ahead and start with the NBA. As Chris Middleton returned back to the Milwaukee Bucks after being sidelined with injury, as he returned on Friday against the Boston Celtics and logged 11 points in 23 minutes. The Bucks unfortunately came up short to the Celtics, 111 to 105. The Milwaukee Bucks are going to need Chris Middleton as he was an integral part for the team in their championship run a couple years back. And he will be a big part of that squad as they look to make a push for the Eastern Conference title this year and maybe to the NBA Finals. So good to see Chris Middleton back on the floor. And Chris Paul of the San Antonio Spurs, his second all-time in career assists, passing Jason Kidd as he logged assist number 12,092 on the Victor Wembanyama three-pointer against the New Orleans Pelicans Sunday night. And Nikola Jokic, who has been a regular scoring machine lately, gets a career-high 56 points. But in a losing effort to the Washington Wizards, Jokic is the first NBA player in history with 55-plus points, 15-plus rebounds, 5-plus assists, and 3-plus three-pointers in one NBA game. Congrats to Nikola Jokic. Got to be one of the best players in the NBA, if not the best player in the NBA as we speak. And unfortunately for the Orlando Magic, who have had trouble with injuries this year, we'll have to add Franz Wagner, who has been playing very good in the NBA Cup this year. He hurt his oblique on Saturday, and he is out indefinitely. They're saying maybe 4 weeks. They're saying maybe 5. They're not sure, but he's going to miss some time, and that's not good because Cup play, the knockout rounds, begin on Tuesday night as we look to crown an NBA Cup champion. And we have 8 teams left, 4 from the East, 4 from the West. Dallas, OKC, Houston, and Golden State represent the West, and Milwaukee, Orlando. The New York Knicks and the Atlanta Hawks represent the East. That's why it's very important that Franz Wagner be on the floor for the Orlando Magic as they're looking for the NBA Cup. Unfortunately, that will not happen for the Orlando Magic as they will have to play without him, make sure that they can get some type of win, some type of momentum going for that NBA Cup. And we'll transition to the WNBA from here as the Golden State Valkyries made 11 selections on the expansion draft Friday. The 2025 season will be the inaugural season for the Valkyries as they will begin their season May 16th against the Los Angeles Sparks. So, looking forward to talking about them this summer as I will be talking about the WNBA. I'm pretty sure cannot wait for the season to begin. But we'll go from the court to the gridiron as we go and talk about the NFL as Brock Bowers sets a new rookie record for receptions by a rookie tight end Sunday afternoon against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It was a loss, unfortunately, but Brock Bowers gets reception number 87 on the year. He breaks the record a year after Sam Laporta broke it with 86 catches for the Detroit Lions. Brock Bowers getting catch number 87, and it is a new record for rookie tight end. So congratulations to that young man who is making a strong push to be considered for NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year. And good luck to him. And speaking of records being broken, Saquon Barkley sets a new NFL record, sets a new Philadelphia Eagles record, sorry about that, for rushing yards in a single season as he, as of today, has 1,623 yards, surpassing LaShawn McCoy, who had 1,607 yards in 2013 when he set the record. Saquon Barkley, my opinion, MVP of the league. Has to be. They should give it to him. Saquon has ran wild all over the NFL this year, making highlights, that backward hurdle, adding it to Madden. That's a big time play. As Saquon Barkley has been playing some great football this year. Congratulations to the man. Hopefully he gets that MVP because he needs it and he deserves it. And then we go to the NHL as we have the Rangers goalie, Igor Shesterkin. Sorry about that. Hate saying that name. Don't do well with it. Igor Shesterkin signs a 8-year, $92 million contract with the New York Rangers. This contract will begin next year. It is the highest. He is the highest paid goalie in NHL history after Jacob Trouba was traded away to the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. They freed up some cap space and was able to bring the goalie back for a long-term deal. That's going to help the New York Rangers. Unfortunately, they have not been playing the best hockey after winning the President's Trophy last year. They're looking to get back to their winning ways, and adding Igor Shesterkin can help them. They're going to need it. And those are your quick hits for this weekend. On Sunday, one of the biggest moments in all of sports history took place. The big, fat contract that Juan Soto signed, not with the New York Yankees, but with the New York Mets. 15 years, $765 million for Juan Soto to go to Queens, New York. Now, the only homerism I'm going to show on this clip is the fact I absolutely hated it because I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. And that means I'm going to see more of Juan Soto than I really want to see. But considering the fact that Juan Soto did something that many people didn't think he would do, choose the New York Mets over the crosstown rival New York Yankees, it makes you think about certain things. And I have some questions that I want to ask as I present this. One of those questions is, with Juan Soto having a storied run with the New York Yankees after being acquired last December to join the Bronx Bombers, to help the New York Yankees get past that ALCS that they've had trouble with getting over the years, although coming up short in the World Series to the eventual champion Los Angeles Dodgers, Juan Soto played an integral part of that championship run for the New York Yankees, being one of the most dependable bats on that squad. It was only a matter of time before anybody thought that Juan Soto would want to break out on his own, and that he did, going to the New York Mets this Sunday. So with this big contract that was being signed that sets the whole sports world on fire, with this being the biggest contract in all of sports, there's some questions that have to be asked. Is Juan Soto as valuable or more valuable than Shohei Ohtani? Considering the fact that Shohei Ohtani had one of the most magical years in all of Major League Baseball, being baseball's first 50-50 baseball player of all time. Shohei Ohtani, who was handed over a good bit of money after being signed by the Los Angeles Dodgers last year, it makes you wonder, is that what the Mets are saying with this contract here, that Juan Soto is a more valuable baseball player than Shohei Ohtani, who was National League MVP this year? Is that what the Mets are trying to say? Also, speaking of the National League, Juan Soto and Shohei Ohtani will be seeing a little bit of each other more in this coming Major League Baseball season, with Juan Soto now being in the National League and Shohei Ohtani making his home in Los Angeles. This is something to make not just baseball fans, but sports fans think. Maybe Juan Soto felt like him being with the New York Yankees might have made him the second man, because we all do know that Mr. Yankee, Aaron Judge, is the man in the Bronx. Maybe that shadow got a little too dark for Juan Soto. Maybe Juan Soto felt like he might have been a little better than Aaron Judge. Maybe that was the case. Although the New York Yankees say that they were very thankful for Juan Soto for what he contributed to this World Series squad, maybe Juan Soto was auditioning for other teams as a New York Yankee. As this season and the winter meetings are going into full swing as we speak, with spring training coming in about middle February, this Mets roster has experienced a bolstering signing now that Juan Soto is part of their team. There's questions as if Pete Alonso will rejoin the team, considering that a first baseman is needed for the Mets. With Juan Soto signing this long contract, the Mets aren't just looking to win in 2025. They're looking to win in the years ahead of time. So with this big contract coming into play, the Mets are looking to position themselves above all the other teams in Major League Baseball. With Aaron Judge and Shohei Ohtani being looked at as the Titans of Major League Baseball, maybe Juan Soto is looking to be the third guy in Major League Baseball. With this signing here, it's made baseball fans more anxious for spring, as Juan Soto will be putting on the pinstripes of a different team, putting on the colors of a different team, with the Mets going to the NLCS last year after surprising the Philadelphia Phillies, the rival of the NL East. The Mets feel like they may be just one player away from getting to that World Series. Maybe they're one franchise player away from great marketability and being considered one of the top teams in Major League Baseball. But that's just something that we have to look at with this signing here. This signing is bigger than the game of baseball. It is sports in a nutshell. As Juan Soto surpassed Lionel Messi, surpassed Patrick Mahomes, LeBron James, being one of the figures of American sports. Who would have thought that a 19-year-old guy coming from the Dominican Republic now turning into a 26-year-old man, being the figure, the face, possibly a Major League Baseball. And he didn't have to just do it in the Bronx as a figurehead. He did it with another team and then went to a team and got to the World Series. Maybe Juan Soto sees himself in a bigger light than what we saw him. Let me know what you think about in the comments about this signing, about how big Juan Soto is to not only just Major League Baseball, but to the field of sports. Answer those questions here. And this is one of your quick hits. On Saturday evening, your field of 12 in the very first NCAA football national championship tournament has been named. 4 byes and 8 teams being added on as at-larges will be your first national championship tournament. All of them are looking to be very strong teams, looking to usher in the new look of college football now into this century, going into these next few years. This is not your daddy's college football, like my man Jason Colenso has said many times on many episodes here on Boom Broadcasting. Now, I will say this. I am very, very satisfied with the way this tournament turned out. The 4 byes I'm very happy with. I'm very happy that Arizona State and Boise State got byes after winning their respective conferences. This is something that the BCS did not want. The BCS liked to shun Boise State in the early 2000s. A team like Arizona State is not a team that many college football fans out there, your casual college football fans, will look at and like. This is a 4 byes. These 4 byes are looked at as the best of the best. With Georgia winning the SEC and Oregon winning the Big Ten and being the only undefeated in this tournament, this is going to be the ushering in of your new era of college football. Very happy about these conferences here as I scroll down, looking into these matchups here. I'm very happy for this tournament because it looks like the only way to settle the national championship is like NCAA basketball, having a conference, having a tournament with your conference winners and your at-large bids into these games. Looking at a 10-7 matchup, Notre Dame and Indiana, having in a 6-11 matchup, SMU and Penn State, and then having a 8-9 Ohio State and Tennessee, and having a 5-12 with Texas and Clemson, and then the next round going into those 4 teams that have the byes. That's going to be the best way to figure out how to do it. Now, of course, you talk about teams that were snubbed. The Alabama Crimson Tide, the Miami Hurricanes. All I can say is I have empathy for both teams, but no sympathy. Alabama not being able to cash in on teams like Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and Tennessee, who was in this very conference and very tournament here. They were unable to do so, although beating a squad like Georgia, although beating an LSU squad, which really did not age well because LSU was out of the top 25. Hated for Alabama. Miami, unfortunately, could not get it done because they were unable to beat Syracuse in order to go into the ACC championship, which was looked like they could do it. But Syracuse played party crash, and Miami was unable to make it. A hungry SMU squad that has not seen success since 1985, the death penalty year. SMU was able to play in the ACC championship, although SMU came up short to Clemson. Clemson made it into the college football championship. Having trouble saying that tonight, don't know why. But Clemson able to win the ACC and get that 12th spot in the national tournament says a lot for the ACC. Nabbing in 2 squads makes this tournament very interesting and very fun. Now, for those who feel like there's snubs out there, this tournament to me looks like the best way to settle this. We don't have the BCS anymore. No calculating, no Scantrons, no guys who only watch certain things. The eye test was being used a lot more this year. I'm looking forward to this tournament. The bowl games are going to be fun, but the tournament's beginning December 20th and rounding out the national championship on January 20th. We're going to have a month of football to figure out who's going to be your NCAA football national champion. Now, something else that has been a talking point when it comes down to this tournament, there were snubs out there. There were squads out there that could have made that field of 12 and didn't. So what I want the committee to keep in mind, maybe not next year, maybe not in 2 years, please have an open mind for a college football national invitational tournament. Let's have some more football. Let's get those squads who feel like they might have been snubbed a chance to win that NIT championship for college football. Keep that in mind. Revisit that idea maybe next year, maybe in 2 years. Let's get a little bit more of that football. Let's get those bowl games to be games that might be bowl games that might be games that'll lead into that national invitational tournament. Let's think about that a little bit, NCAA. Let's think about it. On to the next. And the last quick hit for your Tuesday show. I got to talk about the Heisman Trophy, as I've been very candid about that when I'm talking college football. We have 4 finalists that will be going to New York for this Saturday to be crowned as your 2025 Heisman Trophy winner. Those men are Dylan Gabriel from the Oregon Ducks, Travis Hunter of the Colorado Buffaloes, Ashton Jeanty of the Boise State Broncos, and Cam Ward of the Miami Hurricanes. Now, of course, I want to get to talking about what makes these guys eligible for the Heisman Trophy, making a case for these four men as they go up for the coveted trophy on Saturday, starting with Dillon Gabriel. Dillon Gabriel, one of the only player that is eligible for the Heisman Trophy that is on an undefeated team. Dillon Gabriel, the senior quarterback, has been an integral part of this offense. 274 yards passing per game, and has thrown 28 touchdown passes with 6 interceptions. 73.2% completion percentage, is second in the nation. 35 total touchdowns, tied for 7th nationally, and his career total of 187 is the highest in NCAA football history. Now, of course, Dillon Gabriel plays on an undefeated squad, the only player of these four on an undefeated squad. Won the Big Ten championship with the Oregon Ducks in their first year in the Big Ten. And of course, playing in a big time football conference is nothing to sneeze about with Dillon Gabriel. And that is one of the reasons why. That is what I look at as something that might get vote getters to think of Dillon Gabriel as your Heisman Trophy winner. Now, stiff competition for Dillon Gabriel has got to be Travis Hunter, who, in my opinion, is the people's choice because he plays defense and he plays offense for the Colorado Buffaloes, one of Coach Prime's great players, one of Coach Prime's favorite guys, and of course, one of the nation's favorite players. Of course, the last Heisman Trophy winner in all of college football to play defense was in 1997, as Charles Woodson was your Heisman Trophy winner. Charles Woodson was a punt returner, a receiver, and also played a great cornerback position for the Michigan Wolverines, beating out eventual Hall of Fame quarterback Peyton Manning as your Heisman Trophy winner. One thing that Charles Woodson did not do that Travis Hunter has done is receive for over 1,100 yards, getting 92 catches, 14 receiving touchdowns, and 1,152 yards receiving. His 21 receiving plays of 20 plus yards or more leads the nation, the young man Travis Hunter. He's also been the Big 12. He's also the Big 12's Defensive Player of the Year and a first-team defensive back, All-American defensive back, recording 31 tackles. There are many that feel like Travis Hunter shouldn't win the Heisman Trophy because of his least number of tackles. He's only got 31 for the year, but considering the fact that he's a corner and he's not the primary tackler on his team, usually your linebackers are your primary tacklers, that should be null and void when it comes down to the Heisman Trophy for Travis Hunter, because Travis Hunter has been a lockdown corner, one of your better lockdown corners in the nation. 11 pass breakups, tying for second in the Big 12, and 4 interceptions this year. Travis Hunter is one of those players that dictates where the ball is going to be passed as he plays on that defensive side of the ball. And on the offensive side of the ball, he has been a spectacular receiver. He has been one of Shedeur Sanders' top targets, being one of the better receivers in the nation. Travis Hunter makes a very, very strong point of why he should win the Heisman. And next, the best running back in the nation. If you've watched him play, that eye test will tell you that he is the best running back in the nation. Ashton Jeanty, the junior running back from Boise State University. He's one of the most productive players not just running backs, but most productive players in all of college football. As of right now, 2,497 yards rushing, fourth highest single season total in all of the FBS. 192.1 yards per game led the nation and are 58 more than the next highest average. Genty has rushed for at least 125 yards in 13 straight games. And in 6 games this year, he has scored over three or more touchdowns on the ground this year. 200 yards in his past 2 games. He's rushed over 200 yards in his past 2 games. He's rushed for 200 yards 6 times this season. 7.2 yards per carry. 344 attempts are the most in FBS in 2 seasons. And he's led the nation. He leads the nation tied with Bryson Daly of Army with 29 rushing touchdowns this season. Ashton Genty has been an integral part of that offense for Boise State. And he is very, very close to breaking Barry Sanders' single season rushing yards record this year. And Barry Sanders has said that records are meant to be broken. And he looks to see Ashton Genty do it. And last but not least, the second quarterback for the Heisman Trophy this year is Cam Ward. He's the senior quarterback for the Miami Hurricanes. He was selected Associated Press Offensive Player of the Year and the newcomer of the year in the Atlantic Coast Conference on Monday. He leads the nation with a school record 36 passing touchdowns and 4,123 passing yards, 4,319 total yards, 343.6 yards passing per game, and 41 total touchdowns for this season. He's the nation's highest scoring. He led the nation's highest scoring offense, 44.2 points per game. The first Miami quarterback to post 7 straight 300-yard passing games. And he has 10 games with 300-plus passing yards and 3 or more touchdowns. Cam Ward has been a quarterback that has lit up the stat sheet for the Miami Hurricanes. Now, these 4 men are going to be in New York on Saturday for the presentation of the Heisman Trophy. I want to know from all of you, who do you think is going to walk away with the Heisman Trophy? Will it be Cam Ward from Miami? Will it be Dylan Gabriel from Oregon? Will it be Travis Hunter from Colorado? Or will it be Ashton Genty, the junior running back from Boise State? I want to hear what you got to say. All I got to say is it's got to go to Ashton Genty. Ashton Genty has been one of the most dazzling players in all of college football. He looks like he could break a record that has been standing for over 30 years from one of the greatest running backs in all of football, Barry Sanders. That's my vote. Who's your vote for Heisman Trophy? We'll see what happens on Saturday. Until then, stay blessed. Enjoy the sports. All your football, your basketball, your baseball, your hockey, your wrestling, your combat sports. And I promise you, there will be a Friday show. See you then.
Can't fall off, now they holler he'll turn, thinking I'ma sell out, talking just to feel heard. I never listen, although they say it's strictly